Another day, another
Mascot horror video! Hey, howdy. If you're unfamiliar, I've got a little yearly tradition. It's called reviewing quote-unquote shameless mascot horror, aka the strangest and jankiest of games falling under the moniker. In our first entry, we had some earnest but flawed attempts at the next big thing. In our second entry, we jumped onto a complete fever dream of flossing, basketballs, and the one and only Big Larry! How do I step it up from there? By dragging people down with me, of course! Multiplayer horror games have been on the rise in the last few years. The massive success of Lethal Company spawned many similar games to the point of coining the term friend slop. Examples include Content Warning, Repo, Abiotic Factor, Murky Divers, the list goes on. Far enough for the mascots to start leaking in. You know, technically they beat everyone to it with Project Playtime, but you know how that went. But as for new multiplayer mascot IPs, there aren't very many, but there are just enough to make for a hell of a recording session. So ready yourself for strange physics, asset packs, and way too many trash cans. And for longtime viewers, there might just be a familiar face in the crowd.
Hey guys, it's me. We need to be quiet. I was trying to evade my taxes this year, but the IRS has been sending some...
Look who it is! Dusky, were you messing around in the garage?
But maybe if you subscribe, we'd have the power to rev this up and crash through that wall. If you could do that soon, it'd be appreciated.
I've had a game on my Steam wishlist for a while, as it by itself gave me the idea for this video. Before I encountered Deadly Joy in my Steam Discover queue, I didn't even consider the possibility there were off-brand mascot horrors that let you force others to experience them with you. And I do mean off-brand, it's not obvious from the thumbnail, but the main monster is quite literally just a piss-colored Frankie, and everything else we'll be seeing could just be described as the asset flip of the freaking century. Apparently, Deadly Joy is a multiplayer horror game where Play Center employees must survive deadly missions, cooperate or betray in challenges like parkour, basement, and tower, while escaping terrifying mascots like Hugster and the Cat Box. The game was developed by Napping Penguin and released on May 2nd of 2025. Okay. Upon getting in, you're greeted with what appears to be a very long-armed store mannequin that the game allows you to add an accessory to. I chose to give it a nice top hat. Apparently, if you have 50k, you can be a VIP and wear cat ears. 50k of what? I'm not sure. In my bank account? I wish. Despite what it says, this game does feature a single-player mode. So before we get into the absolute travesty it becomes when other people are involved, I want to take a peek into solo mode. A really small peek, because I couldn't even beat the first part. It claims this mode is best for your first time playing, and should only take 30 minutes or so. Yeah, that's about how much time I spent fighting with it before giving up. I guess I'll give it credit for having a decent amount of content here, with 3 episodes and a different story compared to the multiplayer mode. Spoiler alert, episode 1 is literally zero fun at all and also just kind of impossible, so you're not seeing those other episodes unless you've got the patience of a saint. Also, on a random note, you have to play this game in windowed mode with F11, because if you don't, it will immediately eat your cursor and you won't be able to do anything. Episode 1 begins with a brief explanation. You're an employee at the Play Center, and your boss is named Henry Playfair. He put you in the basement to handle packages. But don't worry, your cat is there for some reason. And its name is also Kitty Cat Licorn? Lisorn? I'm getting Ban flashbacks. And yeah, my cat is here for some reason. But what's funny to me is this looks awfully intentional. I mean, she's got a whole setup here. A nice chair, a mat, even a litter box? I really learned necromancy just to bring Coco into work with me. The little freeloader is supposed to stay at home while I work to put food in her bowl, not come with just to brag. Obviously, the first thing I do is try and pet the cat, which picks it up and oh my god, why are you holding it like a gun? What's wrong with your arms? Are you okay? Go back to the floor, you're scaring me. Approaching the button gets me some very blunt instructions from a very generic AI voice.
Your job is simple. Take a box, put the right number on it, and send it.
None of the instructions even matter though, because he doesn't explain what to do with these boxes. I start trying things and eventually I figure out this mess. What you need to do is go into this back room with a box where there are 2 machines. If you didn't notice, there is a 0 on top of every box, and it needs to match the middle green number in the main room. To put that number on there, you input it in the first machine using the least intuitive UI possible. Seriously, why can I not just type it? Why specifically multiples of 3 and 5? And then put the box in so it comes out the other machine with the number on it. Then use the red button near the conveyor to turn the arrow the right way depending on how the box number divides by 2. Put the box on, and if you did it right, you get a new green number. If you get it wrong, at least it gives you the box back. This is weird and boring, but at least it works. You do that 5 times and a door opens behind the machines to reveal a lot more boxes, as well as a flashlight which you pick up in a very normal way. I'd like to issue a formal apology to Indigo Park. I'll never criticize how Ed holds a flashlight again. Henry says you should continue working, but after you've grabbed a few boxes, your cat will run away and disappear through the restricted door, which is now open too. So rather than using the boxes for your job, and thank God for that because I'm pretty sure there's like 40 in here, you can use them to make stairs to climb over the gate inside the restricted area. Following a faint tune coming from one of the doors in the hall as Henry keeps yelling at me, I end up breaking a glass panel above a hole and falling into a room where after a brief farewell from Henry, a chase with Piss Frankie begins. It's not all that functional of a chase. To start, you have to quickly pick up a box that opens this gate for some reason so you can crouch through. After that, you need to grab what I think is a crank from a table and make a sharp right turn as Frankie comes from in front of you. It turned out I somehow had to put that crank into the wall and quickly do the same with a second before Frankie caught up, which I'm pretty sure would be impossible. But it doesn't matter because you get a checkpoint there no matter what. After respawning, I'm told to do the parkour. Well, if you weren't sure what inspired this game before, this should seal the deal. The quote-unquote parkour in question is just a bunch of spinning swords on rods. You can skip most of them by hugging alternating walls, until you get to this one where it seems undoable until you figure out you gotta get as close as possible to it, and then dash through. I thought parkour was supposed to be speedy and fun. This is more like playing Operation. After you get through that one, Frankie comes back, forcing you to move faster. But this level isn't fun to play this way either. I could probably do it, but the point is that I don't want to. And I should want to. But every replay means more slow sword dodging, so even thinking about it feels tedious. Let's move on to the thing we're here for, the multiplayer mode.
Whoa!
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 Well, that is a defense mechanism.
I don't think it saw you.
No, I don't think it did. Oh, there
Try
goes
heading to the
Salt
PP.
again.
How long are we gonna spend, like, playing this?
We have to win a game.
Win a game with the fucking coordination of toddlers? I don't
game.
think so, bro.
Nobody, I don't know how to follow your CSGO callouts.
Counter-Strike 2, you fucking scrub.
Deal value.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I love you.
I played this mode with some of my editors and mods. It's limited to 4 people, so you'll see some switching out, especially because this game apparently has a chance to abruptly die and take your PC with it, forcing you to restart and sometimes even blue screening. It happened to 2 people when we played and also someone in the reviews. I am surprised it didn't happen to me considering how crotchety my PC has been lately. This mode is weird. There's 2 versions to play. Normal mode and arcade mode. The game says to start with normal mode, so we do. Oh, and if you're wondering what exactly is going on in the lobby, you have this weird slide move you can use by pressing R. It catapults you forward with a spray of blood and hurts whoever you hit with it. Guess that's where the betrayal part of the Steam description comes from. Also, as the host, you can control yourself in the lobby, but only an awkward second person. Normal mode, like most of this game, is incredibly difficult for all the wrong reasons. On the only map, the restaurant, your goal is to steal a certain number of items and put them in your truck a la Lethal Company. They all have a steal value, but it doesn't matter, it's only counting total items stolen. There are flashlights on the ground near the car, but you can't pick them up normally, so they're completely useless. Can't even steal them. If you try to put them in the car, it just makes an awful noise. We've got to...
Alright, lock in, opening door.
It said minimum 5 objects. Do you think we just...
Heading right, gonna find the boxes.
I tried to put it in the car and it did that.
It's on box.
So apparently they give us these, but we can't like actually use them. But good luck making it out with any of them, cause Piss Frankie is on the loose and is quite difficult to get rid of considering you don't have a sprint, cannot hide from him, and your only speedy getaway method is your weird slide dash that's awkward to use. There are doors you can close, but the switches are only on one side, so they're pretty situational and never came in handy. On the bright side, if you die, everyone gets the achievement for it. Same thing if you win. We never won legitimately, but sometimes the game just decides that you did if you're still alive when someone else dies. And why even include a health system if the monster always kills you in one hit? Unless you just want to take out your teammate for no reason, it serves zero purpose. Usually when you're dead, you can fly around with a free cam, so that's nice. It lets you direct your teammates towards items or away from the monster. Although the monster's line of sight is not very consistent, so they can still get unlucky and be seen from a long ways away, or not be seen at all as it completely ignores someone standing in the same room.
Weird. Go get him, working man.
Crap!
Dusky, holy shit. Oh my god.
We never beat this mode. Stupid car, we can win. If you couldn't tell. Arcade mode is a little different, but a lot more fun. It's a bunch of little maps with their own objectives. I say it's fun, not that it's good. I'll go down the list, starting with parkour, which itself begins with basketball? What is it with janky mascot horror and basketball? After a group of 4 angry mannequins fights over a ball for long enough to eventually land a basket, the door to the right opens to reveal, oh boy, actual parkour! The arcade mode introduces a new type of item, bad items. Good items, the sellable ones in the normal mode, were highlighted in blue. Bad items are highlighted in red at all times and will damage you if you touch them, although they can be picked up and removed if you're careful, or if you think you can pull off damage-boosted prop flying. Oh my god! Whoa, this tire is killing me! The tire is killing me!
Dusky prop flew. I told you there's movement tech.
Parkour just requires someone to make it to the door at the end, but it did not open until everyone was dead. The next map is the basement. This map is unstable. We recommend testing all of their maps first.
Alright, so we have
Just
to play
like me.
this.
So we have to play it, right? Apparently unstable, this map requires you to sort good and bad objects. The instability seems to come from which items are good and which are bad. I placed a good item, that didn't really seem like it should be one, but it was blue, in the good hole, and it triggered the punishment for messing up, which is the release of a giant bootleg Huggy Wuggy into the room, alongside a siren that's second in pain only to the ear-piercing whine of Dr. Wily's flying machine. No, there's some red ones. Now I will say, the drones that can spawn are interesting because their physics cause them to glide around and slowly fall. You have to make sure to grab them before they go into the wrong hole on their own. If that's intentional, it's clever. Now on to Tower. In this mission, you will just have fun. We tried this one twice because the first run ended quickly and horribly. Nice job. In case it wasn't clear, the objective is to make it up this whole play structure without getting crushed or being eaten by one of the many... What is that?
What is that? Wow.
Oh, it's kind of cute. I love him.
Banana butter dog.
Yeah, I got nothing. The second time through, I actually did pretty well. That doesn't mean the level is well designed, though. Everything's so big it's difficult to parse anything or see where you're going. I honestly only got so far with dumb luck. Oh, what the hell? How? Did they play their own game? I'm not convinced. Alright, that's how.
Definitely not.
Next up, parkour. Extra large.
So they call me in
This
Minnesota.
This is parkour again, except the basketball intro features a rotating basket that gave us quite a bit of trouble.
Oh, I wasn't expecting
Oh my god,
this.
oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I'm gonna go outside and smoke. By the time I come back, we're still gonna be here.
By the time we finally got it in, we'd managed to phase 3 of the 5 balls through the floor after trying to use them to fly over the fence. We died pretty fast on the actual parkour, and in order to avoid eternal basketball, we did not try again. Ringfall! It's just the death game from Repo where you all beat each other up, except whoever survives just needs to leave at the end. Don't try sliding on this one. No!
Oh, yeah, I was waiting for that.
Second to last, infiltration. As employees, we have infiltrated Promagent, some competing company that looks more like a forest Airbnb. Our goal is to set off literal war nukes to blow their entire building up, killing all of their toys and probably also ourselves. So like, I guess we know multiple companies are making living toys and it's just not a big deal to anyone? Anyway, this mission is impossible. The hallways are way too tight to see anything coming, and they're absolutely swarmed with the Asset Pack squad, who all destroy you with a single touch. He just strolled past you and took you out. In the last mission, Bottom Basement, that's where they put Ruffles when he misbehaves. The bottom basement.
Well, Dusky, what are you saying to these people, bro?
You have to grab stuff from outside, where Not Huggy roams, and sell it in this room in order to buy an exit ticket for $12.50. Don't ask me what currency. Nothing in here actually has any worth, and your total money will never increase.
Apparently.
Okay, now we have nothing.
Just tell this Huggy Wuggy's coming for you.
I think the
What?
Running for me.
Alright, so to summarize, Deadly Joy is an incredibly janky and unfocused mess, and one that's rife with plagiarism at that. It needs a lot more time in the oven. I will say I had fun with it. It works as a party game if you don't mind losing every single challenge, but I wouldn't recommend it over something that actually functions as intended, given it costs money. Here's just some general advice for the dev on publishing games. People won't spend money on something they're unsure about. That's why most Mascot Horror Chapter 1s are free. That's your first impression, and you need it to reach as many people as it can so they'll be invested in your games going forward. Garten of Banban was only able to take off so much because it was completely free, letting just about anyone pick it up and start talking about it. Same with Indigo Park. Not saying those are comparable in quality though. Keep that in mind for next time, I guess. But you've published a game using Unreal Engine, no less. That's further than a lot of people get, so good job there. Did you know there are many good clips from my recordings of these games that didn't make it into the video?
Oh, I thought.
We're just
You can jump on over to my second channel to see the highlights for each one, conveniently separated. You should subscribe there and follow my Twitch for future gameplay streams in both places. I'm live most Wednesdays and Saturdays, and I think it'd be really cool if you were there. Anyway, without further ado, let's get back into the action. There is no escaping FNAF, because this game features a set of quirky animatronics. Toy Hunt has also been on my list for a while, but it's a little pricier than it needs to be, so I didn't take a real look at it until now. And thanks to it, I learned how to refund a Steam gift. Maybe that betrays my opinion already. Anyway, Toy Hunt was developed by Stop Shut and Goose Studios and released on February 2nd of 2025. After that, I should state for anyone who cares that this review is entirely unbiased. To be clear, the game was released into early access and has had a semi-recent update, so I don't think it's abandoned. Jeffrey the Giraffe stares you down from the thumbnail, and when getting into the game, 3 more faces join his side, those being Glamrock Donkey, the duck from Toontown, and one of those camera guys from Skippity Toilet. These aren't their names, I'll use their actual names later. Prove I read the Steam page. Starting from story mode, because Toy Hunt also has one of those, you're told you work at a carbon copy of Playtime Co. and must complete some tasks during the night, all while the animatronics might come say hi. Currently, they're all just awkwardly bunched up on a stage that's far too large for them. but credit will be given for having what I assume are original models. I am first directed into the playcade to reboot all broken arcade machines that show a red screen. Donkey Dan just stands there. No, he doesn't chase or patrol, he just silently shows up wherever as you're working. I don't think he even has an idle animation. And here's where I'm going to cut the event recap and say this plays out exactly the same the entire way through. Playcade has Donkey watch you reboot arcade machines and fill token machines. The Party Zone has Doodle Duck watch you fix fuses. At least he actually bothers to show up behind you with a creepy sound effect sometimes. It would work if he ever actually did anything afterwards. The Play Park has you collect batteries employees have dropped while crawling through it. Jeremy Giraffe appears sometimes in the tunnels but never in the open areas. This location and the next one have tapes to play that give very basic, "oh, I think the robots are evil" lore.
Jeremy the giraffe isn't supposed to move on his own. I swear, I saw his head poking out of the play tunnels after I turned off the power last night. Maintenance says I'm probably just seeing things.
And then you have the theater, where you have to pull levers to restore the entire Playplex's power. No, Shutter Sam will not serve you concessions, he will just teleport around behind you. This theater has a strangely coordinated littering problem. Once the final lever is pulled, the intercom states that prototype toys have been detected in the guest areas, and that animatronic patrol has been initiated. That doesn't matter here, but when you go to leave the facility, you just die as an ending cutscene. Admittedly, this screen got a laugh out of me. This is leading into the multiplayer mode, in which you and your friends play as the mentioned prototype toys. Being blunt, it's just prop hunt. I mean, it even calls it that in the task manager. I've never played prop hunt, so I may be misinformed, but I am pretty sure the main difference between these two is that toy hunt comes with proximity voice chat and prop hunt does not, although it can be added. The gist of it is that one person is a seeker animatronic and up to 7 others spawn in as toys.
Fuck! I can't see. This camera's gonna kill me.
What the fuck?
I don't trust any trash cans. Apparently we can classify garbage cans, cakes, benches, and a variety of random things as toys now. You get time to hide before the seeker is allowed to move, and you can switch toys by getting near something that counts as a toy and clicking on it. Every minute, you're forced to become garbage. It's supposed to force you to switch toys, but it's really just reverting to default, so if you are already garbage, you don't change. Don't think too hard about it, you're gonna make yourself sad. If the seeker finds you and uses their Gmod laser on you enough to run out your health, you turn into whatever animatronic you picked in the lobby and have to help seek. The overhead display shows how many toys versus seekers are present, and whoever has a higher number at the end wins. Some of the maps are pretty rigged towards toys. Play Park has a ton of spots where a toy can just hide under something or in a dark corner, and quickly grab another prop after they turn back into garbage. Speaking of that, it's very funny when a match begins and 7 garbage bins fall from the sky and scatter in different directions. And as a last unrelated thing, as we were playing this mode with the voice chat turned off, since we were all in a Discord VC, we realized this game has like, no sound effects. That's the only sound in this game, is you. Nothing for taking damage, jumping, walking, shooting, nothing. You only get some ambient humming in 1 or 2 maps. I guess it's really trying to leave room for that proximity chat. I have these things separated in terms of audio, like for a reason. He just loves game voice chats. I am so lame.
I love you.
Love you too. Well, after playing it, I would say Toy Hunt is just fine. It's not unique. In fact, with how flexible Gmod is, you could probably dump the models and meticulously designed maps into it and have about the same experience. I guess what I'm saying is it's a bit empty right now, but it works and... Does that say what I think?
No! Get this shit off my...
Get over here.
Who's that?
He's here for me.
He's back! Or maybe he never left. Longtime fans of the channel might recognize that whistle, not one of death, but of Sparky Marky, the disgraced mascot horror that did everything wrong, all to promote a multiplayer game that was never released. But did you know that you can still play it today? Yes, back when I made that first video on Sparky, I mentioned that the multiplayer game was lost media. It had several playtests and trailers, but after playtest 5, everything went dark and never lit up again. Yet unbeknownst to me, this game has been kept alive by the efforts of one very dedicated speedrunner. Meet Derek Young, whose comment on my first Sparky video I thought of when deciding to make this one. On his profile on speedrun.com, he's uploaded every single build of the multiplayer game, both closed and open test versions. And he's even got a guide on how to install it up on his channel. A truly unsung hero. However, there was still some fiddling we had to do before we were able to get into a game. Originally, I downloaded the latest version, which is Open Alpha 1.4, and went through the install process with that. Basically, you need to put the pack file where it needs to go, and since you probably don't own the game on Steam, you need to change the Steam App ID text file to match a game you own. The game won't boot unless you do this, I assume due to Steam anti-piracy measures? Once in-game, we made it up to the multiplayer lobby screen before we realized that it matters what ID you put in, since inviting someone to a single-player game doesn't work, no matter how many times you do it. Eventually, we realized using the ID of Space War allows you to get people in your lobby. For those unfamiliar, Space War is a free game on Steam that's meant to help developers understand the Steamworks API. It also gets used for piracy a lot, to trick Steam into thinking a game is legit. I mean, I guess this is what we're doing too. But this is for preservation, officer! Unfortunately, when we used Space War's ID with version 1.4, we weren't able to begin a game even with a full lobby, because the game gets stuck trying to find more players. I checked Derek's page again and he's got a post about that, saying that 1.4 is no longer playable because of this. Damn. One download of 1.3 later and we've got a lobby that can actually proceed because of the nifty option to tell the game not to look for any more players. Don't know why they got rid of that in 1.4. Oh, but before I get into it, I'll touch on the tutorial. Since I mentioned before that Sparky 2 is just this game's tutorial, but couldn't confirm at the time. It is, but this version is actually functional. You're able to do the things you're being told to do. Crazy! Don't worry, I'll expand on it for those who haven't seen me cover Sparky before. Let's just do it in the actual map. Alright, finally we're in! Time to get to the meat of this thing. I'm so excited! This game also comes with proximity chat. Again, we turned that off. As heavily advertised, this is a 4v1 multiplayer game. And this is Sparky Marky. Sparky is not a sentient creature himself, rather he is a strange suit that can be worn by a variety of monsters, such as this one, and this one. The goal of the game is to gather clues and identify which monster is hiding within Sparky, all while he hunts ya down. Throughout the single-featured map, there are several locations. You start at the terminal. This is where you need to go when you have all 5 clues. You'll find 4 of those clues in the buildings spread around the map, these being the sand house.
Oh, nice.
Why is there just a random place full of sand?
I don't know. Don't kids love sand?
And I love eating this stuff.
The Micro City house, the trampoline house, and the water house. I think we're supposed to be in an amusement park that uses Sparky as its mascot, judging by that one unenterable building made in his image. While moving around the map, you'll find these credits on the ground you can pick up, too. We'll touch on those in a bit. Before you can enter a house, you have to power it by flipping a breaker in a nearby shed thing, lighting a cable that leads you back to the house you affected. Once in a house, it's time to look for clues. I'll go over each to the best of my ability. I didn't see them all myself. First up, we have runes. There are many of these little nursery rooms around, and some of them have a rune in them. In order to read that rune, you'll need a rune gun, alongside a flare gun. The flare gun is to break a window in here that hides a computer. The computer must be hacked using a tablet you always have with you, via a little icon-clicking minigame. This will turn on a sort of black light that allows the actual rune to be scanned. There's also a small chance it will send you directly to heaven. Oh my god! I can't see anything in here.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, you found
Why
that?
did you bring the second coming of God into this room? The second clue is the goo. As Sparky moves through the map, he leaks.
I followed the trail of Sparky's goo and it led to my mom's house.
Gross, but you gotta come across it and scan it with a goo gun to figure out what color it actually is, because it will show up as white before you do. Don't think too hard about that either. Third clue is sonic waves. This is one I never managed to encounter myself, but if you find one of these wobbly sphere things, you gotta go in it and use a sonic gun to analyze and get rid of it. I guess it's something to do with a noise Sparky is making? The fourth clue is Sparky's fingerprints, which you have to get with the fingerprint gun. That leads me into the stupidest part of all Sparky Marky entries. These guns you're picking up are single use. You can only hold 2 at a time, and if you mess up using one, that's tough. Now you gotta drop its husk and find another. Use up every single one? Well, buddy, there's a soft lock. This is the worst with the flare gun, which is necessary for getting into some clue rooms, despite windows not being transparent, so you have no idea if you're breaking into a room that even contains anything useful. But the fingerprint gun is pretty bad too. You have to scan vending machines to find fingerprints, but they are only on one machine. Which machine it is, it won't tell you. Notice that it says on the wall of the tutorial that if you scan the wrong one, just drop the gun and try a different machine? About that, it still uses your gun. And another awesome thing, the cage or tower the necessary guns are held in is not usually close to the clues they're for. So if you, say, have 2 fingerprint guns and neither hit the right vending machine, you have to go back a ways to get more. All that while Sparky is on the loose. Speaking of Sparky, he is how you get the 5th and final clue. Although in most of our runs it ended up being the first clue since we would get caught before getting to anything else. This clue is the way Sparky moves. Oh my god, he's bouncing. He's a bouncing baby boy. For example, he could be walking, spinning, bouncing, stuff like that. But you won't know until he's caught you at least once. He's actually invisible in the world until then. You'll only see the flickering of the lights where he is and hear his signature whistle. Your screen will darken the closer you are to him until you are lifted into the air and brought to a place called Limbo, where Sparky begins to chase you. To gather the last clue, you must successfully escape Limbo before Sparky's timer runs out, indicated by the eyes of the wall decals. The layout is always the same, but you spawn in a different spot every time, so it can still be confusing, at least until you've figured out where the stairs are during any one visit. That's basically the only landmark you need to know where you are. From there, it's finding the Sparkies that hold keys and following them until you're out. If you have some trouble, there is a single taser within the maze that you can hit Sparky with to instantly exit. But be warned that this will not respawn on your next entry, and you don't take anything with you when you enter, so no bringing your own. And yes, tasers are also present in the real world and work the same way. They stun Sparky for a bit, which can be useful in a pinch. Once you've escaped, you can now see Sparky in the world and have the movement clue. Just make sure you run away after you're out though, he's still right there, just momentarily stunned. You have one other way to get him off you. The money I brought up earlier can be used at shop stations to buy single-use apps for your tablet, which act as items. We've got stuff like instantly hacking a computer or shielding yourself from someone trying to hit you with a taser. Yes, it is actively encouraged to tase your friends.
I have another one.
Ah! But the most expensive is the Limbo Shield, which instantly stuns Sparky should he try to grab you. Very useful if you have the funds. Apparently you can also use money to ride a scooter that drains them as you go. You can honestly keep him going for a while, but he gets angrier and faster the longer you keep it up.
Is he just gonna
I have
get
work
you
to
again?
do! Daddy's working!
Oh my god.
He usually ends up locking onto and chasing you down to put you in limbo over and over and over again until you finally mess it up. This being most common when you're the only one left. But wait, I said this was 4 players versus 1 player, right? Then how can there still be 1 person left that's still being hunted? The whole selling point of the game is that 1 player is secretly controlling Sparky. So if there was only 1 person left, that would mean they either won the game or were eaten. But if they're controlling Sparky, how do they get eaten? Well, dear viewer, I'm glad you asked. This game handles its main gimmick in a very confusing way, and this just might be because it's not finished. But I'll go over it anyway since they don't mention it being unfinished on the page. When you're the traitor, you get to choose which monster hides in Sparky. Cool. Why am I like looking through Glamrock Freddy right now?
Oh yeah, it's a weird like text screen for some reason.
And in the game, you get to do 4 different things with him. Most commonly, you'll be using Sparky vision to see through his very low-resolution eyes, as you're otherwise blind to what he's up to. He'll kinda wander around and hang out, doing his own thing until you direct him to teleport to a certain player, where he will then target that person to chase. Bro, he just turned around!
I got the goo!
If you change your mind or they're not going down, you can tell Sparky to retarget and switch focus to someone else. Lastly, as Sparky is moving, whether that be in chase or wandering, you can give him a boost of speed. So you'd think that if you manage to kill everybody with Sparky, you win, right? Well, no. Now you are the target, because I guess he doesn't pick sides. You still have to find the clues and everything as he turns on you. You can't even retarget him or teleport him since there's no one left to point him towards. This part feels unintentional, like they were going to do something here but didn't before they abandoned the project. Even more so when you realize you don't even need to be alone for Sparky to get you when you're playing Traitor. You can get got the same way as anybody else, and when you're out, Sparky just goes rogue and does whatever he wants. All that makes playing Traitor seem like pointless trolling since it's not like you're working towards a different goal than your friends. I don't know.
Oh god, uh-oh.
You might as well take on the role of Sparky Surveillance and try piloting him away from everybody or warning them of where he is. To finally explain the end goal, when you do have all the clues, you must find a key light maker thingy and create a key light object based on the clues you have. You don't actually need to have them to do it. You can guess or have others tell you the clues they found. Though I have a feeling that's not the intended way to play, given the loading screen hints encourage you to steal people's clues off their bodies after Sparky gets them. Either way, you make the right key light, you get rid of Sparky and win. Make the wrong one, you lose and get sent to jittery spectator purgatory if anyone else is still around. It not ending the whole game on a mess-up further suggests this game is meant to be competitive rather than collaborative. Further compounded by the fact money is not shared by the team, and how you can use tasers on your teammates to knock them down, forcing them to grab a healing injection to stand back up. Or, you know, they could just screw up the little parkour sections and break their legs that way. The competitive part does feel intentional, but I don't think it works in this format. You've got it set up like Phasmophobia, except you're encouraged to feed people to the ghost or whatever. I have played Phasmophobia exactly once. Why are we all fighting each other when we're supposed to be trying to fight off the traitor among us? That's not 4v1, that's 1v1v1v1, but with the addition of some guy and his pet pink thing that he does not have on a leash. It's all just confusing, but being completely honest, I didn't hate this. I really think this could have worked if they kept ironing out the kinks and made the traitor role actually mean something. And also used the freaking monsters more! You only see them at the end of the game and when you don't escape limbo. I've said it before, most of these monster designs are great and their models plus animations are well made too. Why can't they do more than hide in this bizarre little creature? With how little they show up, they might as well be static PNGs on the results screen. Or heck, don't bother showing them at all, it already feels like you didn't. But, yes, I thought this was okay. It's unfortunate that Clapperheads is the type of studio to jump ship until something sells, to the point of allegedly hiding under a different name in order to push out a janky adult-themed supermarket simulator that no one even talks about anymore. I bet you didn't even know Hellmart was fully released, and no, I'm not covering it. Zoochosis made me sick enough. Clapperheads, come back. Support your strange son. You know no one else will. Speaking of strange children, oh Oatmeal, this is your cue. Time for our quiz. So, how'd you do? Let me know. Well, that was great, class, wasn't it? This was a fun video to make. Well, I don't have much to talk about this time. I'm planning something exciting, but it's not ready to show yet. You can have but one small preview. Besides that, you know who it's been. This has been Glamrock Dusky, and remember, have a phasorific day!